Here you go. Sorry, guys. Computer decided it was going to do that reset again. There we go. All right. Morning, everyone. We've got lots to get through here, so let's start getting through it. All right. We're running slightly late. Daily. Gapping up through the 20-day, 5-day starting to curl. All right. This is an aggressive 1, 2, 3, 4-day bid so far. All right. We are coming on NQ to a retest of this volume shelf. All right, and this is absolutely key here because this is what we broke down under. And as we've talked about the whole time, the market, if we're going to make lower prices or even set a higher low, needs to reset off this. If it does not reset off this and we go into this and start holding, this is a very, very bullish action because it means this is a failed break lower, all right, although a very aggressive one, and a move back inside range, looking for upside move as we come into Q4. I'd rather this move waits for Q4, but let's see what we get. All right, so we're going to have to watch this shelf carefully as we start to get into here. 350s is what I would say is key. That is value area high from the current year. If we're going to come right to the mid 650s, all right, so that's what we're watching. We'd like to see a rejection here. All right, it doesn't even need to come down here, but today we would like to see a rejection today, tomorrow. It might be that we need to sweep these daily highs here first. So 350s, maybe they get swept before it pulls back. It might be that it just keeps squeezing on the AI trade. This is, again, a rotational AI trade now. If you're watching, we'd go through the mag and the semis, but they're looking very, very different again today. They've started rotating again. Fun, fun, fun. But that's what they're doing. All right, coming up to newsletter levels. Right now, I don't expect the market to want to get much above this, but you never know. This is a runaway train. All right, ever since the open yesterday, it has just been how high can we go without really any meaningful pullback. There was a pullback in time here and then just up again. All right, we're not seeing, you know, nice structure like this and a build out and a build out. All right, we've had one build out and then go. All right, so we'll see. I don't want to be counter trend, but I do know 350 and up here is a big, big level. So what I'm kind of looking for this morning is if we come into that, ideally we sweep it. Ideally we sweep these highs here. And then if we fail back under, all right, I'll be looking to see if I can play that downside, knowing that buyers up here are stuck and looking for pressure back in to retest previous day value area high, and it'd be TPing on the way down. And then if they want to bid there, happy to bid out. If they let it slide further, that's fine. We can hold all the way down. So that would be the first thing I'm looking for. Do we fail after we sweep? Do we take this, fail? Is there a trade to here? Once they get here, is there a trade back up? Or is this indeed failure back down on a rotation of previous day's value? That's what I'm going to be watching this morning. All right, if we get above previous week point of control and above value and they hold, then you've got to imagine there's a bid to 600s and maybe this other naked point of control. So this is the first naked. This is also a naked point of control up towards 7s. It's asking a lot, but, you know, headline news, you never know. In terms of gamma, positive gamma again. So grindy and rotational days, right? Selling rips, buying dips, that kind of day at the moment, unless things change. All right, big cool wall level 1 is up to previous week's point of control. We must have news all of a sudden. We're starting to push on. Let's just mark it on open. It's all right. Up towards 310 to 350. So I'm watching those for the top side. Now, when we think about the expected move today, let's have a little look-see. We're probably opening above it, knowing what it's like. Top side 339s from pre-market at the moment, 161s from end of day yesterday, so well over that. So 339s is the expected move, so in this red block. So if gamma is going to hold us down, we're going to now have an expected move with some cool walls, with a naked point of control, with a value area high. I would expect the market to sort of do something like this, but same yesterday, it didn't do that. We continued squeezing, so we have to play structure. But that's what I'd be looking for this morning. If we can come up there, downside move today. We're really looking at 850 to 630. All right, so a long way down, all the way back down into previous day's value. It's a long, long, long way away. The range right now is big. So if they do fail up there, if they did a maximum 1 standard deviation move, all the way down here as possible. We'll see. We'll see, folks. All right, let's get through everything else. We've got to move quick here. That's your first poke up and fail up there. All right, ES. Make this to a 5 minute. Jesus Christ. All right, same kind of story. Poking up into this level. All right, if we zoom out here, you're close to all-time highs. Very, very close on ES. You are there without the back adjust on. So breaking out on ES, but with the back adjust on, I'm just watching these levels, right, taking into account the old contracts, all right, as we start to come into these 64s to 75s, but very, very bullish here on the ES. If we come to the spiders, you're going to see the breakout. And I'd be paying very close attention to the spiders because it's going to give you cleaner ideas and identity here. Go away. Big orders. There we go. All right, so gapping up on the spiders. Are you at all-time highs? You are. You've just taken them out. So I'd be watching for a failed break and a pullback in and then a reload, all right, into some of the RBS levels on SPY today. And it will be the same on ES. Can you get a reload level? So I'd watch SPY carefully because that will give you a good idea of where, if and where we can reload right now. If you look at the structure of it, let me zoom this out. I'm going to be asking a lot to come back down here, but you never know. Not today, I don't think. But yeah, we'll see if it's a clean break or if they can pull back in even to some of this structure over here. All right, if we break out and come back inside and start to hold dips, 60s, 59s, anything down here, if they start to hold that, otherwise closing the gap, and then you've got more structure down here. So we'll see. Ideally, we come back. We don't just race away today. Ideally, we come back a little bit. If not, it's going to probably be tomorrow. Qs have got a way to go. All right, we zoom out on the daily, as we've talked about, coming into a big level here on the Qs. All right, through that first gap. There is a bigger gap up here where we failed. All right, where we broke down. It's possible Qs have intentions of filling that. We will see. All right, so we've got to be very careful. 12s to 18s is an old gap fill available for this market. All right, but at the moment, we'd expect that first push up into this block to fail. So I'm watching to see if we fail 11 and 10s and pull back to 06s and then 700s. Remember, that's your over-under for your big cool wall put wall that we keep flipping on the higher time frame. So we'll see if there is a poke up here and a fail down to here. Otherwise, gap fillers up here, folks. All right, for that old gap. So we'll see. Ideally, I'm looking for this move. And then if they want to bid this out, great. And if they get heavy, that's also fine. We can just hold it all the way down. All right, let's have a look. Broader market. Right, MAG, weakness. All right, this is what's going to be important for you to understand. MAG gapping down. Now, overall strength, don't get me wrong, overall strength, but weakness pre-market. Are we going to go for an extension move here, or are we coming back down to earth a little bit on the MAG? For, again, same kind of thing. Do we come down for a reload? While this is happening, all right, semis are breaking out. All right, this is your equal weighted semis. You can see where we've come to. There's the liquidity all the way down, all the way up. There's been no reset into here. That's the move that we need to see hold for strength. Otherwise, get above and base, I guess, for a continuation squeeze. So if we look at that on the Soxal, all right, and we move this, let's just come to a 15-minute chart. All right, you can see this area here is absolutely key. We're coming for a back test of where we broke down from. We have put in a higher low. Here's your swing points. All right, and we've got strength there today. Now, if they reclaim that, we're going back inside this range. That would be a really good sign of strength for semis for the next move to 150. If they reject 135, we can come back down and set a higher low. All right, back into here, which would be healthy for the market. Software continuing to push up, but it's getting a little bit stuck here on overextension. So again, might need a little bit of a reset here. That's been showing strength this week. If we look at the broader market, all right, Dixie coming back down now. All right, failing. This is healthy for the market. This is all going to depend what happens with the US bailing out Japan. If that continues to happen, this continues to melt further down. VIX now trading at 15s. All right, again, healthy for a bullish market at the moment. But again, this is a big move down without much of a back test here. Going to be very aware of that. Crude had been trying to make its way back up, but that news this morning saying we're going to do a deal in the next 24 hours. Of course you are. You've said it 2 days in a row. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. I mean, Iran have said they're not even negotiating. So someone's lying. And it's been that case for months now. So we'll see if crude finds a bid out of here. Otherwise, downside pressure is helping the market. All right, we go to individual names. Apple. Looking to see if Apple can start to find a bid soon. All right, it's been selling off since the earnings. No one really wants to buy it, but, you know, not surprising. We were miles up. We're in a range here. All right, 300 is your level. All right, 3 to 310. All right, do they want to undercut here and bid, or are we going to see continued weakness on Apple? I'm not interested in adding any more size yet. I'm waiting. Amazon coming back down to earth. All right, after it got announced last night, and Bezos has started to sell loads. Okay, surprise, surprise. Billions of dollars coming out of this market. This needs a reset anyway. All right, this has been a huge move. We're going to wait to see if we hold this level here or this level here. 60s, basically, or 75s. If we hold 75s, I'll bid. Otherwise, if we come down to 60s, I will also bid. I'm not concerned about the stock. It's just Bezos selling, which was pre-planned anyway. Googs coming back down and in maybe gives us an opportunity to get involved here back into this node. We'll see. But again, gapping down on Goog. Meta, none of these surprising to be gapping down, by the way, after these huge moves. Meta, massive move again yesterday. All right, gapping down. We'll see if it resets or if it reclaims that gap and go. All right, but at the moment, gapping down. Microsoft, same story, gapping down after a gigantic move. All right, needs to come back into 460s. Even lower would be great. 460s, 450s, and we rebid it out. Nvidia, strength as the semiconductors continue to bid to the upside, and Tesla starting finally to get going here. All right, so a rotational play again in this market is clear. It's a stock pickers market right now rather than a whole index market. That's just what we have at the moment. All right, so you know what I'm looking for. Ideally, a push up here, a sweep, and a fail. That would be the most ideal situation, I would say, at the moment. But we will see what the market gives us. Here we go, folks. Let's see if they can be kind to us and poke higher and then fail, or poke higher and base. I'm also open to that. All right, semis coming into that big level. Cool wall one that they were above. Mag finding a bid here. So Mag trying to get up and try and attempt to close the gap. So Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft all opening up down today. Nvidia and Tesla with the gap up. Semiconductors opening up 4.24% up on the equal weighted. Software also 1.45% up. Mag 7 opening up about 0.5% down. So this is what we want. We want to push out, a clear out, and then to see if the market fails up here, which would be most ideal. And we're watching that H1. So here's previous weak point control. This is the naked POC. And above this, we have 350 to 370 kind of level. Big buyer coming in at these highs. And I'm waiting to see if we can push and sweep, ideally, and if we then get stuck or if we base above. We are in a positive gamma get day, so if they want to be grindy, they can. Here's the 710 level on the Qs as well. Mag through its cool wall 68s. Semis holding its cool wall 130s, but not making a new high yet, just stuck. So semis a little bit stuck here this morning, hesitant to move higher. Let's see if we can come a little bit higher here and then fail, and then I'll be interested. Higher the better right now. We are in breakout on the other indexes, so we've got to be a little bit careful here if we are going to look for mean reversion today. We'll see. MAG looks like it wants to close that gap at the moment. That's what it looks like to me. Semi's getting a little bit doing nothing at the moment. VIX, let's have a look. The VIX starting to find a bid. All right, I'm getting interested here. If we come up here and fail, we're into the levels now. Now, if they get above all this and they base, all the way up here is possible today. So we need to be cautious if we're going to look for mean reversion. We're going to have to let it fail in front of us. And as a reminder, we do have news. I think Jolts is at 10 a.m. Let me just check. Yeah, Jolts is at 10 a.m. So I don't want to be in a position too close to Jolts. I don't mind trading after the first 5 minutes or so for like 20 minutes, and then I want to be flat into Jolts. Let's just... All right, let's get some volume on here as well before I forget. Okay, here comes the clear out. And now what happens is important. This is really important now. Now the old wick was up at basically 400. And the old wick I'm talking about is the hourly wick from 11 a.m. on Wednesday. What's this? Wednesday the 26th would be 400. So we'll see as we reach up into it. Very extended here at the open. It's semi starting to find a bid. MAG looks like it's attempting to close its gap. The question really is, how high? Are they going to flip this whole thing in base and make a move to 600 and then even that next naked POC, which would be 685s, or are we going to see this thing turn around up here sort of shortly? Looks like MAG's looking for gap fill at the moment. It's interesting. VIX is moving up. Semis are trying to move up. MAG's trying to move up. Market's trying to move up. Everything's moving up. I call it Fugazi. Something's going to fail. You can't all move up together. All right, sweeps now occurred. So I'm interested in this. If there are failures at the moment, there's still liquidity up at 400. It's trying to hunt for by the looks of it. Straight squeeze every morning now. Apparently this is all we do. We just go straight up. Yesterday we did it all day. All right, here's the move into 400. Now, if they get through this, we can't rule out the move all the way up here. Expect to move's done. Yeah, expect to move on a week's done, mate. But this thing don't care right now. We'll see. All right, MAG pulling back. Semis at high of day trying to break out. VIX trying to break out as well. Big buyers coming in here at the 400s. Huge buyers. So that's that liquidity. Let's see if it's got any more juice. We don't do structure nowadays. We just do ridiculous moves. Apparently 200-point moves in the first 5 minutes. All we do nowadays in NQ. Oh, but he said there's going to be a deal, sir. Oh, but that's what he said. Okay, Mr. Algo. He hasn't called your bluff at all since March, has he not? All right, continuing to squeeze. These 400s still holding here. They're holding the bid. Look at this profile already. Crazy. Crazy stuff. All right, a little bit of excess up there, but it's still a seller up here at 406s. They are still adding liquidity higher. ES about to come into its cool wall. SPY through everything already, so we've got divergence there. MAG still looks like to me it's trying to fill its gap at the moment. All right, I'm going to watch this 400 over under now because there are some big buyers up there who came in to fill that liquidity, and if they stuff this, I'll be interested in trying to take a starter. Please don't just like give the whole thing back. Can we not be silly buggers? Hey, can we not do this? Can we come and fill Alex if we're going to play properly today? Can you? Would you mind? Would you mind being reasonable? All right, let's see. What we've got to be careful of now, a bit like yesterday's, we can flip this zone. So I'm going to change this. We can flip this. This would be like yesterday if we do. Right, watching these 400s reclaimed already. If they stuff it, I'm interested. Otherwise, I expect new highs. New highs coming. All right, leaving this alone still. Have Mag filled the gap yet? No, still not. Failed to make a new high there. There's not that much excess up there. Expect more. I've still watched 400 over under here. They're adding liquidity higher again. All right, let's see if we can get a starter on here then. For the flush, I'm going to watch covers back down to 300s. We're thin 50s to 38s. Coming into these 50s. This is the first LVN. If we flush this, I expect 300s. And I'm not going to add anything until we get underneath it all, because I'm not convinced the high days in yet. So I'm starter only here versus 400. There is liquidity. They can come and fill up to 400 again here. Let's see, folks. Right, they're starting to flip the cool wall on the mag here. Still hasn't filled its gap, but they're trying to hold this 68 pivot. Semi's just doing absolutely nothing. VIX turning upside. So VIX trying to push. Semi's doing nothing. This is a mess, right? Semis came up and then just went, oh, we'll go sideways. Software going, and mag not really doing anything either. But VIX is starting to push here, and we're not really reacting to it. Not convinced 5 days in, and we are now starting to hold this pivot. We've got to be careful. This is what we've done the last 2 days and then continued to rally all day long. I think I'm out 400 there. If it chomps through all of this, it's quite something given the amount of volume up here when we remind ourselves where we are and how hard it was to move through this. We are right there. If it just goes up here, it is a real sign that this market wants to absolutely scream, but we'll see here. I'm still watching, I'm expecting this market to fail up here. But if they're not willing to, they're not willing to. VIX continuing to push higher. It's trying to break out here through its pre-market levels to get to 16 as the market continues to move higher. It's a very unhealthy market, that, when you see that. VIX upside, semis trying to go upside, mag upside, ES upside. Everything up, 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 up. That makes no sense. This is an unhealthy market at this point. Something has to fail. It's either going to be VIX or it's going to be the market, but one of them will be failing shortly. Palantir up 20%, yeah, off earnings. That's what's helping this market think that the AI trades back on, which is why they're pushing semis. All our swings are looking very, very, very good. Hood looking fantastic. Might have missed the opportunity to rebid on Hood, to be honest. This thing wants more, man. It's just like the last few days, non-stop bid. Max, you're an idiot because you don't know what you're talking about. It's unhealthy when the VIX is going up with the market. Do you know what, mate? I've given you so many chances, but you're so unwilling to learn or listen. That was your last shot, mate, because you're just not very smart and you just say silly things. So unfortunately, bud, I've given you many, many, many chances, and you are now going to be removed permanently. Sorry, buddy, but you're not very smart. You're not a very smart person. You don't listen. I've given you opportunities to listen day after day after day after day, and you won't do it. You just want to be heard and you don't want to listen. And that is a sign of someone who we don't have in here. Sayonara. We tried. I gave you many chances. Okay, still just waiting here as the drift continues. If you look at VIX, it's now approaching 16s. The churn is starting here. They're starting to sell MAG back down in the last 5 minutes while trying to push semis out. And VIX continues to push higher. All right, you're going as well. The guy who's just told me to shut the fuck up. Stop talking to these people. Goodbye. So weird, man. Had a break even trade and you lot are all like got your knickers in a twist already. It's crazy. Right, let's see here. Still watching 400s as the over-under at the moment. You can see the shelf being built out here at the point of control. Don't love the high of day still. There's selling up there at high of day. It's not the sign of a good high right now. So we expect high day to be taken. Here we go. We expect excess to be put on before anything else, and we're not seeing anything. And we're not pulling back deep enough for me to get long anywhere. And we're not seeing any failures. So it's just flat and letting the market do what it wants. If it's just going to keep doing these grindy moves in positive gamma, I'm going to have to wait for a moment of reset, which is we didn't get yesterday until yesterday afternoon. We did get long in Discord yesterday afternoon once it finished resetting. All right, into the cool wall on ES. It's there right now. Let's see what they've added for expected move for today now, dynamically. 29,670s, which would be the other naked POC if they do want to do that. That would be quite something. That would be quite something. All right, VIX continuing to break out now through the 16s. So there is a hedge taking place. Market's not reacting to it. All right, they're buying the VIX right now, and the ES is still at highs. Non-stop bid. There's no way you're going to catch me buying up here. Not without a reset. Let's put this naked POC in so I remember it right here. Do I have a POC? Naked. Should be up there. Good. All right, ES struggling at that call wall. And still the VIX. Oh, let's change that. It's a bit bright there. Still the VIX is pushing. 1607s now. MAG still holding its 68. It still wants gap fill on the MAG by the looks of it. So we're still rotating the MAG. Strength coming from semiconductors and from software right now. So MAG still red on the day. Semis 5.14% up. Software 2.72% up on the day. You thought VIX reacts to market pressure. It does. That's my whole point, mate. It's unhealthy for the VIX to be moving up when the market's moving up. That is quite literally my point. This is a very unhealthy market here this morning. This is not what you want to see. All right. You would want to see the VIX stay dull and move lower as the market moves up or move sideways. What you wouldn't want to see is the VIX taking out pivot highs from yesterday and pushing up to potentially new highs on the week while the market's doing the same. All right, that's the opposite of what we'd want to see, which is what I'm saying. This is extremely unhealthy this morning. So the hedge is starting to take place, which is why we're seeing the VIX move up. We're just not seeing the market react to it. Was this VIX up, market institutions hedging? Yes, while retail's pumping. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly it. The hedge has started. There's just no market reaction yet. Still we go. Here comes the squeeze starting to accelerate now. And we're going to come into this LVN by the looks of it. All right, Q's into its last cool wall for the day. We've got nothing above this. There's nothing above this gamma-wise. Semis with a bit of a failed breakout here. MAG's still yet to fill the gap. VIX starting to pull back to 16s now. So we'll see what happens here. Getting frothy. Market feels frothy. What's this level? Wow, I'm not going to rule that out. There's just no way I'm buying up here. If it's not going to pull back or to go sideways for a bit, I'm not going to play breakouts because I understand where we are. It can do what it wants. I would rather be risk adverse than risk on as we come into this. This is just asking for it. All right, we haven't pulled back and held this. We haven't pulled back and held this. We're just driving into this midpoint of node, and it's very, very dangerous when we do that. Everyone's just like, oh, I missed the dip, I'm going to buy everything. Well, not me. I'd rather just wait. Something will become available. All right, that high looks a little bit better there at 500. No, another 100 points higher than the original one. We did catch a bit more up there. They're still adding liquidity high, but that high definitely looks a little bit better. MAG's still not filled yet, so I'm not convinced this is done until MAG fills its gap. And every shelf, every LVN being soaked so far. Every single LVN in this steep drive higher. is being soaked. What are we doing for the time? News coming in 8 minutes as well. What's the bet they pin it up right into news and then pull the liquidity? Did you lose the huge buy opportunity? There was no huge buy opportunity today, mate. If you think it's a huge buy opportunity going straight up at the open, I don't know what to tell you. That's not a huge buy opportunity. Just because the market moves higher, all right, this is how I know you're a noob. Just because the market moves higher doesn't mean there's a huge buy opportunities. Buy opportunities come from structure. They come when we pull back and hold. They don't come when we're already at the high expected move for the day and the week and right into a big volume node and just saying, well, it moved higher, so it's a big buy opportunity. That's not. It's not a huge buy opportunity. I'm sorry. All right, failing these highs still into this LVN. I'm going to watch this shelf here because they're still protecting this right now. VIX just held the bid at 16s as well. Another big buyer just came in here at 83s. This market's still holding the LVNs. Still wants more here. Literally nothing I can do with this right now. There's still liquidity higher at the moment if they want to go for it. I'll watch this shelf very carefully here. And keep absorbing into this shelf. All right, they've put some more gamma in for SPY now. All right, here goes MAG. MAG should break out here and try and fill its gap. That's what it's been building for, which is why I'm not convinced that we're done moving higher yet. Here goes the MAG. So it's going for that move now. It's going for the breakout to fill the gap on the MAG. Yeah, jolts in 5, I know. This is what I'm saying. They might pin this market, go into jolts where you're like, well, don't really want to be risk on or risk off into jolts, as in position risk on or risk off. So you're flat and then they move it on jolts and then you might miss prime entry. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. All right, back to this LVN and shelf again. I'm going to be watching this shelf and this LVN, so I'm going to watch how we react between 50s and 80s. There is significant buying stuck up here now at 80s and 500s, and if we bounce between 50s to 80s and stuff 80s, I might try a next attempt on a short. It needs to move back down to 50s. Do they bid this back to 80s and then do they stuff 80s? That's the question I'm going to ask here. Hopefully they don't slide the whole thing back down into this. There is an unfinished auction at 26s if they do want to do that. Semi's not filled the gap yet. I think we're going to come 26s here. Move so quick. Waiting to see if we can get short in here at the moment. Waiting to see if they want to do this move here for me. And then if they fail that, all the way back down, because this is a straight squeezer and this is a very thick area that we've come into. And I will not be long up here. All right, repaired that auction at the lows. I'm going to watch how we act into 80s. I'll be careful because of the time with jolts. So I want to see if we do this move here, something in here. If they fail, if they reclaim and hold this, then I expect a new high up here. And then where's that naked? And this maybe to be target. Semis failing back to VWAP. Still not filling the gap. That's probably the short opportunity coming here, folks, if you want to take it into jolts. It's probably this LVN here, right now. That little poke in there. All right, so if you got short there, you need to risk up to 80s. So it's up to you whether you want to take it. I mean, you're 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes away from news, which could just rip this thing higher. Who knows? But just be aware. Big buyers coming in here again. If they get washed out at 440s, then you'll get the low break. It's a good job report bearish. Who knows at this point? Yeah, is good news, bad news, inflation-wise and pressure on Fed? I don't know, mate. I don't know how they read it at the moment. I don't know where their dealers' heads are at with it. Here's the poke in. Normally, I'd be looking at this sell side. I'm just very aware that we've got 70 seconds until the jolts data. We'll see if they pull liquidity from the book or not. This is quite the move. The last 4 or 5 days. Quite the turnaround into this shelf. Through the 20 days now. What's the midpoint? Probably 700 or so. Like I said, this can be it. This can be the failure here, but I'm going to wait because we have news about to come. Into these buys. If they can't hold these 440s here, this thing will probably slide. That's where the buyers have to protect. So far protected. All right, here comes the jolts data. Book's getting thin now. Very thin on the book. They pulled the orders. Mag's now filled its gap, by the way. So Mag's completed his obligation. Back to these 440s. If we lose these, I'll be interested. Would have rather got short in that low volume node, but getting through the data now. Let's just see what they said. Have we got a print yet? Jolts came in cooler by the looks of it. 7.35 versus 7.45. I mean, not much difference. All right, back to these players at 40s. All right, they're literally on 40s. You've got a couple hundred lots. This is the tape right now. Oh, do you know what? We can put this back on, can't we? Forgot about that. There we go. And there's also some big players here. All right, Mag has filled its gap. Semis have come right back down to the New York Open. So here's, let's pull this back into a 1 minute. All right, semis, huge drive out, flush. Mag trying to fill gap. IGV strength. All right, full rotation in here. Sell one, bid the other, bid that. The churn's back. We're going to churn and churn and churn and churn so that they can prop this market up. This is my concern about this market right now, is they can prop it up by churning between those three. All right, held 440s, back through LVN, and they can print a new high here if they can get through this block above. This LVN is going to be important now. That's a little rejection there into 80s. but I expect a new high at this point. Bids coming in here to protect 70s, so they're trying to bid this LVN now. '40s hold him. And they're just trying to squeeze this up. Look at all these bids trying to come on the tape to lift this up to 535 at the moment. We'll see. If we pull back and hold 60s, I'll be interested. I don't really want to buy up here, if I'm honest, but we'll see. Mag's gap's now filled. I still think this will fail shortly. Well, that was them bidding 60s. It lasted 0.01 seconds. And up we go. So they held 60. They didn't even test it. It was like a flash. And they're trying to fill these orders at 535s now. It was so quick. Fix high day, I know, mate. It's like the most unhealthy stuff you'll ever see. What's going on right now in today's session? Very, very, very unhealthy. The hedge has started. They're going to lift everything up. All right, Mag's filled its gap, pulling back after filling the gap. Now it's pulling back. Guess what they're doing? They're buying semis. The rotation, just the washing machine rotation, non-stop. And it's going to be like this, and it will continue to be like this until we break out through all-time highs, because this is exactly what we did for 3 months in these levels. We rotated these names. That's why I posted on X the other day. This does not make me want to trade this market when they start doing this. Up. What did we say it was for today now? 6 something they put in. 670s. 619, 670s. 710 standard. Crazy. Crazy. Slow drift higher. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be like the last few days. Nada to do. Buy dips and sell pops, they said. What dips? What dips? Where are the dips? What fucking dips? You gotta laugh. On the 15-second, yeah. It's not even like, yeah, I'm watching the tick chart. I mean, even that, I said if we hold 60s, it literally lasted like not even a second. It got to 70 and it was an instant bid. All right, Mag now through its closing price from yesterday. All right, so going green on the day for the Mag. Everything now bullish alignment, including the VIX. It also wants to be bullish on the day. I mean, this is it's just so bad, so unhealthy. It's going to keep drifting. There's nothing I can do with this. I was willing to bid down here if they held. It wouldn't come and pick me up. We came into 68. It was that. Boop, boop. That was it. That was how quick it was. Is there a target on SOXL? Yes, there will be. I mean, SOXL's just stuck it for the day. We have swept the liquidity, I believe. Yeah, we already took the liquidity at 34.76. Let me just zoom this out a bit. And we've come into that old closing price from the 24th, or we're almost there. So I'd say 37s. Once we get through 37s, 150 on SOXL. So 37s is a big level. Once you get through that, 150 becomes available. VIX is absolutely ripping here. Non-stop since the open. Why do I look at SOXL over SMH? Because it's traded more. The options on it are traded more. It's more important for me, for sentiment for intraday trading. Right, where's Q's next? What do we say? Gap fill on QQQ will be 17. What's this? 1780. It's probably where it wants to go. We went over this pre-market. It's at its 50-day right now. 1780 would be the gap fill. A little way to go. Couple more points. The IV on SOXL is insane. Yeah, mate, it's absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers. When you're on the right side of it, it's an amazing thing to trade. I would hate to be leveraged the wrong side of that. I mean, you think about the amount of people that got liquidated. Right, on the 5-minute bar, we've just left a lot of buyers caught up there on a 5-minute bar. They just came flying in at 13s and 28s, and we're still holding value area high for the session, but I'm aware of it. It's mad. Semi's coming down to the bottom midpoint to the bottom side of their range for the day. Just trapped at VWAP right now. VIX continuing to push. MAG continuing to break out. Heavy lift on the MAG being done by Nvidia today, obviously. Are we at value area high for the year? Yes, we are through it, mate. It was 350s. We're through it. We're well through it. We are well through it. Non-stop bid. Slow grind up. That's the tape today. Positive gamma. They're just going to keep doing this. Willing to get involved if it can give some kind of flush out. But these are so shallow and grindy. It is what it is. Are we done for the day? No, we're at... Mate, it's 40 minutes in. You lot just need to calm yourselves down. Just because I can't get into a trade for 40 minutes, there's a whole day ahead. Calm down. You don't need to be in the market all the time. Relax. It's 40 minutes into the day. Relax, relax, relax. The thing is, you all think they're wind-up merchants, but you don't understand that most of them are not. They're addicts, is what they are. The need to be in the market all the time. All right, we got someone starting to pull orders now. Above. Sammy's trying to find that VWAP bid at the moment. And you got to think ES is going to want the whole number, 700. And Max might, by the looks of it, wants previous day high. Just straight up, hasn't pulled back to PDC. This is going to go straight for previous day high at the moment. Non-stop squeezer. Lemon squeezer. All right. Into an old LVN here, this box from a 2-week balance range dating back to Monday the 6th and Monday the 13th. That 2 weeks, we had an LVN in here. If we get through this, then I'm going to expect this naked level to be hit. Max wants previous day high. This thing's not going to be done until the mag gets his previous day high by the looks of it to me. It's on a runaway train right now up there. Let me look at the breadth. What's moving today? So finances and tech. That's basically it. It's a big move off just 2 sectors. I'll tell you that much. More bid here. All right, VIX now through its next pivot. It's just taken that, or about to take the liquidity at 1630s. If it takes that out, it can move up towards 1660s and it can keep driving higher and higher and higher while this market keeps lifting. Mag's almost there. It's got a bit more to go. Semi's starting to hold a bid around VWAP at the moment. So they're stuck at the midpoint of the range. They look like they want more. Mags definitely wants previous day high. That's all it's interested in right now. It's like, let me get to previous day high. It's on a tear away. I'll show you. This thing is non-stop bid. Why is there 2 of these? All right, this is non-stop bid. That's previous day high. All right, so hold of the mag and then go. Semis are stuck at VWAP, not going anywhere. All right. Wedged in. Software, rip him. But no, where are you? Here, rip him. That's software. We're gonna have to trim some of our swings. We're swing long in all of software right now. That's the story. If I show you the VIX, rip him. All right, that's when I said this is very unhealthy. It's a very unhealthy move. Something will become available. We're just going to have to be patient and attack when it's there. All right, we're just going to be patient. Can we get back to NQ? There we go. All right, first tag of that LVN finding a rejection. Mag's pulling back before it hits previous day high. I still think it wants previous day high here. What was the expected move today? Well, from pre-market, the expected move was 339. We went through it. for a max of 439. So we're through it. End of day was 274. We're well through it. Dynamic expected move on the day currently is 746. All right, binary move is basically 700, and standard deviation is 782. I don't think we get 782, but I do think there's a chance we come up into here at the moment. Really going to depend on mags at a previous day high, which is what they're coming for at the moment right now. And if they're going to look for a breakout of that high and continuation. So every micro dip is being absorbed at the moment. Can't be short here. Not until there's clear failure and clear buyers. There are buyers caught at the high right now. That auction at the high does not look too bad, but it's not like we've put in a big excess wick. But we're coming back down to value area high. I feel very uncomfortable thinking about any mean reversion until the mags has taken out previous day high. Semis look like they want to break down right now. All right, so mags and software at highs, semis breaking down. And you got to think at some point they're going to do this, and then what does NQ do? Still goes higher probably, or goes sideways. This is why they're very smart with how they rotate it, because they won't put them in alignment together, which means follow through is hard to come by. ES ripping, yeah, it is through the 700s now. It's crazy. That thing is just a runaway train. It is a runaway train. Where's the SPY versus the highs? I mean, there's just been no pullback. Just a clean breakout on SPY. There's no pullback whatsoever. Just gone. Absolutely gone. Since the open. All right, back to this LVN again. MAG still approaching previous day highs here. What would perk my interest? Well, I'd like to see MAGs break previous day high and fail. I'd like to see, if I'm going to look for a mean reversion, I'd need to see a rotation not go into the SOXX or SOXL. I'd need those to come underneath 24-hour VWAP and New York Open, which they're starting to come towards, and fail. And I'd need us to basically stuff this shelf here and come under this, and we can think about it. It's going to be very hard because they've built structure which they can keep bidding off. A mean reversion trade today is hard because of this. It's not like this is all thin and we can repair the whole thing, but I will watch it. And once we come back downside, I will try and find an area that feels comfortable bidding off, which really higher time frame, I'll be honest, is not until 360s. So if we come back down here, right, that would be the breakout retest on the hourly, and we can think about bidding that back up. I don't really fancy a bid in front of that, to be honest. All right, we'll see. We'll see here if they start doing it. If we trap all the buyers from the last 3 days, we get a liquidation. Well, yeah, you're right, but that would mean we'd need to move back under 28,000. We're 1,500 points higher than that right now. So let's focus on what's in front of us. All right, semis back down to New York Open, finding a bid right now, while the Mag 7 is starting to pull back. This is exactly what I said I didn't want to see, because this is when they rotate this market again. It's going to make it very hard to trade. But if there's a push up to 20s and it fails, that would be the first sign. If there's a push up here that fails, that would be the first sign, and the confirmation would be the break below 80s. But what they're doing with semis is gross, and they're now pulling the VIX back as well. Very dangerous market right here. No, VIX ain't cranking, mate. It's pulling back to 16s. Don't know what you're looking at. It has to hold these 16s. If it doesn't hold these 16s, we can see this market really start to push. All right, this is the first move to 20s. If they fail 20s, it's the first sign of some weakness. Here comes the bid in semis. There is some passive selling up here into 20s, so I'll watch this here carefully. There's lots of buying taking place between 80s and 60s on the tape at the moment. So that was the first sign, and if we break 80s and stay heavy, that would be the second sign. So this is what we just talked about. We'll see here. You'd imagine buyers will want to try and absorb this. And this is exactly what I just talked about, which will be the danger point. There comes the bid and the sell, and there is the washing machine. A very dangerous market when we do that. You will have no alignment. They will be able to sell one, buy the other, sell the other, and keep this pinned. And then when they go alignment, acceleration. It's very smart by dealers and market makers. That very, very smart. All right, they've reabsorbed, so pushed into 20s. Sellers are trying to sell that back down. Buyers now want to hold this LVN into here. I'm waiting to see if we break under here at the moment. Like I said, I'd need to see 20 sell and us to come under that, and then maybe I'll be vaguely interested. It's a very risky mean reversion trade. They can keep buying this in every LVN, which is going to make it very, very, very hard. But I really don't want to be a buyer until we come down here today. The reason being this. All right, this is a huge extended move up without a retest of this. Right, this is what we've done this week. That's it. Everyone going, oh, you missed the buy opportunity. The buy opportunity is here, or is in here, or even here. It is not in this move today up here. Just because it's gone higher, I play off higher time frame. I don't see what I want. I don't trade. That's how I'd manage risk. Yeah, VIX lost 16 exactly. They're shoving it back down now, which means this thing can keep going higher if it wants to. And here goes the semis. So, and now they're bidding semis and mags together. Surprise, surprise. Oh no, look what happened. Sell it, bid it, and now buy everything together for looks for new highs. There we go. Like I keep saying, it is a very dangerous market, the way they're building this. Well, the good news is, even though we're basically flat, the swings are absolutely printing, my friends. They are printing. Amazon 27% up. AMD back to 218% up on that. Robinhood 28% up. SoFi 15.7% up. Healthcare, I'm still 6.45% up. I trimmed some of that. Adobe 17% up. I'm still long in the S&P and QQQ. I started a new position in QQQ. S&P, I'm up 19%. Meta, basically flat on that. Oracle, flat on that, really. Started to add back in onto dips now. See if we can hold. And we'll see if we get going on some of those names. I think Oracle's got room. Every dip for the move higher. Micro dips here today. We pull back 40 points. That's all it does. We're up 650 points since yesterday's close, and each pullback is about 40 points big. So shallow. Here we go. Here's the break again. Higher, 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 higher. Here comes the rotation. Semi's trying to break back through the midpoint now to get back towards higher day. So they've absorbed the lows. They're back to the mid. I know, Charlie. Well, you know what? It might not be, because the way we're moving, maybe we just rip through it. I would be surprised, but I mean, they don't seem to give two you-know-whats coming into it. I mean, there's been no reaction here. We're coming right into this midpoint of it. So the POC of it is going to be, what, like 625? 50 days there. If we keep ripping through it, then we can hold the top side and we can get going. Very possible. Could also be the biggest trap known to man, but we'll see. Doesn't feel that way. It feels like they just want to bid everything right now. Look at this. I mean, they're still buying. Still aggressively buying up here. It's crazy. Highest target today. I would say the highest target today would be up here towards 700. It's naked POC. That'd be your highest target today, I would say. Initial balance set? Yeah, it is. Just been set. Well, we've done the first move from here. All right, failed this one. We've done this without any consolidation. We've just gone straight up. So we're into this like kind of pocket here. And now it has to make its mind up. That's where we are right now. All we've done is a straight move up into that. All right, mag and semi starting to struggle a little bit here. Semi's back to VWAP. Mag trying to find a bid. Just rejected and made a lower high on an M5. Again, I will watch this if we start to move under stuff. So far, every bid's been absorbed. When that stops, the tape will shift, but until that point, probably not. It's good excess up there if we can move lower. You'd expect they'd want to make a new high versus IB before they do anything else. All right, here's the big back on semis again at VWAP. Structurally still bullish, nothing shifted yet. It's just whether we start to fail to hold above this 40s at the moment, because that's where we've got excess there and above at the moment. I would normally say we'd make a new initial balance high, and they've got liquidity up at 85s right now, but we'll see. If they keep stuffing it up here, it's the first sign of weakness, where they've built liquidity sufficiently here to keep catching bids. Semi still holding VWAP. Oh, I'd love some kind of mean reversion trade, even if we can't catch the short, to allow this market to cool off so we can get back long into it. At the moment, feels like yesterday, where it's going to be slow grind, slow grind, slow grind, pull back in time, slow grind, slow grind, slow grind. Is VIX dropping bad? Yeah, I know, I can see it. 1576s. Like I said, once it lost 16s, comes back down to earth. So that whole push wasn't respected. That hedge that took place, and we've come right back in. And they'll probably find a bid shortly on the VIX again. So we're going to push this for a new high here. These micro pullbacks, man. Grindy tape. 21 EMA tape. Mr. Algo. How high can he take it? What is a pullback in time? Well, I tell you what, have a guess. Have a guess what it is. It is a pullback that does not need to go deep. All right. It basically goes sideways over time. All right. So it goes sideways over time. It allows the market just to build some consolidation out. And you might say, well, this is it here. Well, then I would say you're very focused on an M1, and I would say go and have a look at any chart higher than an M1 right now. AMD gamble into earnings. I mean, I don't even know what that question is. Are you asking me if I would? No. Am I holding my position? Yeah, but I'm up 200 and something % on it. I would not be taking a new position on AMD into earnings. Do I think they'll have blowout earnings? Yeah, probably. What the market does with that is another whole thing. When would I consider the short? Well, at the moment, it's very hard to consider a short. We have no structural shift. We're not moving under 40s. All right, we're still holding this. The way they've built this is a trend day. All right, so any short is probably going to be very short-lived unless we're very lucky and they go, hey, we've hit our target. Let's come back down here and reset it and then buy it back up. If we got very, very lucky. At the moment, it's very hard to consider any short. We're not extended away from anything. We're hugging all the EMAs. We're holding every LVN. Can't really think about anything like that for now. Yes, coming for highs, like I said. All of the market just in a giant push right now. All of these big names over here. Huge push. And I don't see them cooling off anytime soon. I'd love a reset. I don't even mind not getting the short, just something that offers me a good value long position. This 2-week LVN is being respected for now. Yeah, totally. Like the semis aren't really being bid up, mate. Like, so they were already bid up. They're actually not doing anything. Look, they're boxed in right now. It's not like the semis have continued to push, right? It was an open drive, and then that's it. There's the gap up, and then this, right? The drift higher is in IGV. The drift higher is in MAG. This is not a drift higher, look. Right, so it's a gap up in these, gap down in MAG, gap up in IGV. So we bid up software and semis bid. MAGs, remember, gap down. They've gone over the gap and over, no, not over previous day highs. So they're trapped in yesterday's range. So this is in balance. This is in breakout and creating balance. This is in breakout and creating balance, or actually just creating trend. All right, perking my interest here. Let's see. Where was that last huge buyer? 500s. Balance filled their buy side into 19's instant bid of this structure here. push back up off that. So instant bid off the imbalance. Came down, instant bid back up. Look at all the buying. Like, no one's being punished. We're just like, let's keep going and going and going and going until someone's out of position. We just can't think about doing anything. Still just in range. And this can be... Oh, it's got to be news. The fuck is that? Holy shit. There has to be news. Can't see it. Looking for it. Is this... I'm going to assume it's Trump news then. And it's only on if you pay 100,000 for it. Well, that was a big push through the IB. So that's a good first sign, actually, for the short here. But I want to see what this news is before we even consider anything. Not seeing anything. Oh, well. Trump's just made $100,000 out of each of these people per quarter or whatever it is. You know that's going to be him. Yeah, it's going to be a Truth Social post. You know it is. It's the most corrupt shit ever. How is it legal? It's insane. Well, that is a fail break. And if we start to now lose POC, I will be interested in the mean reversion trade. The short back down. Still absorption down here into that old imbalance. Still into here. These buys are still very comfortable. That's why any short today is going to be very, very hard. Very, very, very hard. But hopefully, even if we miss the short, we can reset and then I can think about the long opportunity after. I'm happy to do that. It's amazing. It still hasn't hit any of the news outlets. So it's just on Truth Social. I mean, that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting that that's allowed to happen. No short. Well, no short yet, but that's the first good sign of a fail break. But we're not leaving any buyer trap. The structure is still bullish at the moment, like I've said. But if and when that changes, I can take short. If we come back down to value or down here, if I get very lucky, I can get back long. All right, I'm not going to get long up here. Why can't you watch Truth Social? You have to pay $100,000 a year to get the news that Trump posts now. Is it a year or is it a quarter? It's a month, isn't it? A monthly fee. It's $100,000 monthly fee now to get Trump's posts in time on Truth Social before they go out to anyone else. $100K a month. Let that sink in. Yeah, if you didn't know that, that went into effect about 2 weeks ago. That's why we don't know what this is. People that pay 100 grand do. What we need is a news outlet that pays 100 grand, who then gives it to us for a reasonable amount. That would be useful. All right, ES back to IB high. Do I have 100 grand for Trump? I do. Will I be giving it to him? I will not. He'd buy me a new Aston Martin every month for that. No, thank you. All right, still POC held. Up they go. No breakdown. All structure is holding bullish here. Every micro dip's holding. And this is probably the pullback in time that we were talking about over here. We'll see if they lose this or not. And here. Oh, look how they're starting to go the opposite ways again. All right. Stock's still looking like it wants to break out topside range. This wants more. There's just no way I'm fading it. And there's no way I'm buying it up here. So I'm just flat, guys. I've been flat since. I don't think we tried. I can't remember where it was. One trade here or somewhere, and that's been it. Might have been up here. That's been it. Just sat waiting. No pullback? Yeah, no pullbacks today. So it's a very, very typical grindy positive gamma day. The hardest thing was that opening 5-minute bar was 200 points. And we didn't reset anything. And all we did was hold the top of the H1 and then went. And now it's just... And until we see this, right, we can't get short or long. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a crack, and then I'll consider longs down in some of these levels, not beforehand. So I'm willing to just sit still. Oh, Phoenix, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah, days like this, it's so important. If you're not in the long from pre-market, it doesn't give you a position to just be willing to sit still. Just be willing to sit still. There's always tomorrow. There's always the afternoon session. There's the thing with the market. You'll learn over time. There's always more opportunities. You do not need to rush into a trade or try and force your way on the market. It's absolutely fine to sit flat. There is nothing wrong with sitting flat. Like, if I look at this H1, the only positions I want to be in right now are my swing long positions, which we started picking up here and here and here. All right? Those are great positions. But even those I'm looking to trim because the moves come so quick on all of these, right? We lack structure. Look at this. We lack structure from that let's just call it 28,300 hold, 28,600 breakout. We're 1,000 points higher. We are 1,000 points higher without any structure right now. And it can keep going. So happy to hold the swings, but not going to join in intraday long up here. If it resets and causes some bear trap, if it doesn't mean reversion, right? Even if we don't get the short, let's say it does something like this. Right, it traps some bears down here, we can get long. If it does that same move down here, we can definitely get long, right? If we want to look for the short, if it does this move, we can get short. These are going to be the opportunities for today, right? If we get a mean reversion, there'll be a short opportunity down if we get it. If we don't, if it doesn't offer it, and it does what it did yesterday, and it does this for ages and ages, and then starts going end of day, it will come up here, and it's going to be a bit harder for me to trade that long. Now, I did take the long yesterday afternoon in Discord before I went out to watch for a dog walk and watch the Rams, but we'll see. I didn't pay myself on Amazon. No, I'm not concerned. Like, it's pulling back because Bezos is selling, but that is something that's not really a trade for me. It's something I want to own, right? So I want to own Apple. I want to own Amazon. I want to own Google. I want to own, but not as much of Meta. I want to own a lot of Microsoft. Those are stocks I want to own. I don't want to own Tesla. I've never wanted to own Tesla. It doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. So when I can get good core positions of those, you know, so like even now on Amazon, what am I up on it? I'm up 25, almost 26% almost now on Amazon, right? If that doesn't come back to that point, that's great. Wake me up in 10 years' time, right? I'm not looking to trade those. I'm looking to hold them. Sometimes I'll trim some to get my, if we're overextended, then I'll buy back in. But those big mag names, I'm looking to own. SpaceX earnings tonight. Thoughts? No thoughts. I have no idea, mate. I have no idea. Where are you trading right now on SpaceX? 120s. That's a good hold. If they hold over 120, it's very bullish. But you know, who knows what? It's their first earnings. Who knows? All right, Mag's coming back down. Semis are bidding back up. So here comes the rotation again. Pull this in. All right, Mag's starting to come back down. Semis are starting to go back up. IGV starting to go back down. Some money going back into semis, coming out of this intraday on the rotation. And markets going nowhere, because this is what I'm saying. They're very clever when they do this. When they do this and this and this, they can keep the NQ like this. And then when they do this, we get a ripper. Because that's the pullback in time by getting their positions, core positions, in and out of these markets individually. It's very, very smart. Look at Palantir. Palantir News was earnings yesterday, mate. They had blowout earnings. That's why everyone's getting confident in the software and AI trade, right? Because we're having numerous blowout earnings, and it's starting to look like a lot of them are bottomed. Same with Oracle. On the daily charts, they've been absolutely punished. They're starting to look like they've bottomed. A lot of it has been driven by Microsoft earnings. Can I do some videos on swing trading? Probably not. I mean, maybe if I get time one day. That's a whole thing in itself. But it's the same. It's exactly the same as we do for this. You're just looking for a higher time frame. You're looking at daily, weekly, 4 hours. Looking for SMA holds. You're looking for low volume node holds. You're looking for structural holds, and then you're having probably a bit more of a deep dive into the earnings and the forecasting. So VIX starting to find a bid back towards 16s. If we lose this shelf, I'm somewhat interested. But at the moment, it can be a pullback in time to go higher. If semis fail and mag fails, this moves lower. So I want to watch this shelf here, 30s. If we come under that and then start stuffing it. And the last really big buyer was down at 500, so we will have to respect him if we do get short for the mean reversion. Right, here's the 30 move. They're bidding 25s right now. I want to see this flush under, come back, and then fail it. If we keep doing this, there's no trade to be had. It's just repairing an auction to go higher if they keep doing this. It's internal range being built out. Technically, your swing low is here, your swing high is here. I'm watching this. I will consider this move. And they can very well bid that. Otherwise, if they do this, they're coming for new highs and there's nothing to do. Especially considering MAG have done a pretty good pullback here towards the 5-minute flow zones and almost previous day close. And have we moved down with the MAG? No. Have we pulled back down here like the MAG has? No. Why? Because they've held the rest of the market up. This is what I mean. It's very smart trading. Swing trade seems to be current trend to be profitable. There's no current trend, mate. It's just the... Man, you guys are so impatient. We're only up big on swing trades because the market got overextended to the downside and like an elastic band came straight back up, right? It's the only reason. It's not... and we've gone back into positive gamma, which is a grinding tape higher a lot of the time, which can help with the swing trades. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. All right, VIX coming back to the 16s. That's its pivot. So where it bid out from this morning, failed under, and we're coming for a back test of it, and how it acts here is probably going to be important. MAG's finding a bid in front of PDC and on its 5-minute flow zones right now. And semis are starting to bid up now, and they're going to look for a break out of this range back towards 5-day on the semis, and that will lift the market again if they can get going. I'm still going to wait here. I will consider shorts under 30s if we stay heavy, not beforehand. That's the only thing I'm going to consider if we're going to look for downside, and I'm going to be very aggressive with my stops. Am I in favour of Vinny to Arsenal? I mean, I am. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I mean, he's training with Real Madrid at the moment, pre-season, so it doesn't look like any of the rumours are true, to be honest. Right, still there bidding. Let's check the expected move now. They moved it. 732s still available. Binary 687s. Still available. Next big call wall really further out is at 680s. There's a bit of volume here. What's that? 595, 640, 680, 720 is a big one. Have they put these in yet for the day? No, but they're up there. All right, back to these 30s again. This is the shelf that I'm watching here. If we flush under this and stay heavy versus it, I will consider short side. For a mean reversion trade, it will be a small snap trade. All right, watching this carefully now. If we pop and fail, try and get into it. So that first imbalance here. Watching this if they stuff it for the short or if they reclaim. Reclaimed. And up they go. Just nothing we can do with it. That's a bit of stuff into those imbalances. There are some imbalances up here, so I'm watching. If they do stuff these and we come back under, that's actually a first good sign. We said that last time and it just went ripperoo. Semi's into view up here and they can bid. Mag's trying to find a bid here as well. If the mag fails to reclaim 6850s here, bidding at 25s here. Oh, I put a short on here, small size. Very small size. Instant reclaim of 30s. Comes the semi bid. Talk about timing. I could try and give this a bit of wiggle room in these imbalances. Once we break 30s, I'll just be looking to trade down towards 500s. And then I'll just try and hold a runner under that. And then we'll be thinking about getting long. At the moment, it doesn't look like this is going to play out at all. What's the top of this shelf? What's this little thin node? 44s. Does that match up? Yeah, 44s has got to be my stop. There is an imbalance over overhead at 47s, but if we get through that, we're going to go 58s quick. So 44s is my stop. There or thereabouts. Okay, let's see. Constant absorption down here. Just give me one little flush down to 500s. Just give me even a 30-pointer. Can we have 30 points of mean reversion? Can you even do that? Just down into here. Are you even allowed to do that today, market? Or are you just like non-stop bid on every little tiny pullback? Ready to go to sleep. Don't like the absorption taking place here on the 5-minute. Big seller coming in here. If we don't break down, we're going to squeeze higher now. They've just absorbed everything under 30s. About to take my stop. Out we are. Untradeable. No mean reversion. I'm not going to buy that dip. Unbelievable. You'd like 440s? Same, mate. I'm willing to be a buyer in this pocket here and on value. I'm also willing to be a buyer down here. There's just nothing I can do now. Maybe they're going to do this all the way up. Maybe they do a fail break and do this again. I don't know if I'm going to have another go at it. It's just, it is non-stop buying on the tape, and I don't want to fight it. We had the chance there to do it. They had the wiggle and they lost it. They had control there for 2 minutes to do it. Mag's back at that 68.50, that level where I said they need to stuff it here on the mag. They're trying. But if they reclaim that inverted head and shoulder back to previous day high, very possible on the mag 7. This is lifting before anything else is going, by the way. Is it just software? No. We're lifting off this then. I tell you what, now you've got a seller that came in at the 30s with us who's a little bit stuck. 90 lot. And up we go. How much volume on this push? All right, VIX rejecting 16s. Mag's still not through the 68.50s. It's trying. Semis look like they're going to go for higher day, though. This thing's going to fucking rip. If they suddenly get alignment here, like we talked about, if they suddenly get alignment here, we go pull back in time, rip. Nothing to do here. Sorry, folks. Just sat waiting. We've got an hour left. It might be 2 scratches and that's it. Look at the bids. Holy shit. Wow, look at these bids flying through the tape all of a sudden. I'm looking at this Bollinger Band on the daily. I'm like, are we going top Bollinger Band this week? Are we just like, fuck everyone, fuck the shelf, we're coming back to 30,400s? We only need one more day like this and we're at the top Bollinger Band, which means we would have gone through all the liquidity. The 3-month liquidity would just be ripped through like it doesn't exist. Kind of crazy, but it's starting to look very possible. All right, semi's coming up for higher day. Mag now through the 6850s. This thing just wants more and more and more and more. How big's the initial balance today? Okay, if you're looking for initial balance expansion. Oh my god. All right, if you're looking for the 1.5 750s, I'd be watching for point of control if somehow you're long in this. Oh my god, it's hilarious. How big is that? That's not that bad, actually. 360. Still big, but it's not that bad. We used to have 80 to 110 points IBs. It was only 4 years ago. Okay, well, I'm looking at the hourlies now, thinking, where can we go? I mean, if we get through this node, this is the LVN. Once we get through that, it just makes sense that we go point of control. And then the next LVN really is up here above it. What's my first target on Microsoft? I don't have one. I'm just going to hold it, mate. This, again, like I talked about, it's something I want to own. I don't really have one. I'm just going to hold on to it. Okay, back to your initial balance here. Auction at the high does not look particularly good. Are you brave enough to buy IB? I'm not. I'm not brave enough to buy the initial balance here. But you can buy it and risk 57s here. I don't feel brave enough to buy this, but you can. It's a trade. We broke over it. We'll pull back in holding. It looks like it wants more. We just talked about where it can come. It can come up here. It just, for me, I just can't do it. There's no part of me that can do it. I'm certainly not short against it, but buying long up here just feels nuts to me. Mag pulling back to that 68.50. If it holds 68.50, it's going to build out that inverted right shoulder on the 5 minute. There's the hold of IB, and up it's trying to go. Now, there are imbalances lower. I will watch this if we come down lower than IB into here. Here we go, 600's your target if you just bought this, and then you're looking for 7s. Mag starting to fail here. Straight back to 68.50. Tried to catch a bid and failed. Semis are about to break out a high day, so that's what's helping you here. VIX is reclaimed 16s. We are a mess. But if semis lift here and go, you've got room. Semis can go 140s. Like I said, I'm not brave enough given the size of the move, but you do have structure on your side now. We have had consolidation for a period. All right, failed breakout, but failed to break underneath the shelf. That's where sellers are now trapped. Broke over. If they hold this move is possible. If they lose this though and do this, this is where the danger comes. At the moment, everything's bullish. I'm just not willing to buy IB. It just feels crazy. 360 point initial balance. Any entry, bro? Well, like I said, if you want to be long here, you can. Right? If you want to try and get long in here, I'm not going to do that. Given the reasons why, I don't like the area we're in, higher time frame. It's very risky. If we come under this, I'll consider a short. Until that point, there's nothing I'm going to do, unless we come all the way up here and get very, very extended. But if you want to be long here, looking for this move, you can. It's valid. $50 minutes left. Are we going naked point of control? There's your new higher date. Here's the 600. So if you want to TP some at that whole number, you can. Great hold from MAG. They can build out liquidity here for a bit and do that inverted head and shoulder I've talked about. Seller at this high. This is not going to be the high day. He's a fucking idiot selling up there. He's likely to get smacked here. Balance held here. They should turn this around and lift this higher for you. Short squeeze to intact. I don't know how much of this is a short squeeze now, to be honest. The short squeeze would be much more aggressive if we were blowing out short stops. I think we've already done it. We've already blown out the stops. This is just a slow bid up now, mate. All right, semi's approaching higher day. Mag's looking better for you. There's the new high. We talked about that. Seller will get caught. So you got 600 and then basically sevens. Yeah, positive gamma, slow grindy day, and no mean reversion today on the gamma, just slow grindy day on the positive gamma. You're supposed to buy dips and sell rips, and I'm not sure where the dips are. Dips in time, maybe that's it. The algorithm, I mean, it's dealers, right? Selling this, buying back the underlying asset, right? Taking puts, buying back the underlying asset. Taking puts, buying back the underlying asset. That's why the VIX has been going up with it all day. I say all day, it did pull back. Is it algorithmic? Yes. Like high frequency trading, basically. Is it a man that wears a silly cap doing it? No, it is not. Don't make me laugh. Go and ask him to go and have a conversation with the Citadel at the New York Stock Exchange and explain who he is and what he does. Watch him be laughed at. How close are we to negative gamma? Nowhere near. Okay, here we go. So 700's now your next target. So that I'd be long. Paid, didn't it? This is your next target all the way up here. Expansion up to 7s. New high day on semiconductors here. And they're looking for 140s now. This thing can keep going. Here comes the bid. They're just supporting this bid for a squeeze up here. Bit of liquidity at 640s. You should be able to get up to 690, 700s here. That's, I think, where they are aiming for at the moment. We're a little bit extended here, but if they can accelerate hard, if semis can go to 140s, you are really looking at 700s, and it's going to be a straight move up probably if they can get going. Just like a slingshot, like whoosh. How many of you took the long at IB? It's your first like technical trade that we've had for a while. Here comes the bid. They're still bidding. Lots of you in it. Nice work, folks. Nice work, those of you in it. Lots of you in it, and it's just great. First sign of hesitation here. They should be able to keep going. You should just see we're very thin on this move up. You should just see everything be absorbed and then try and like get up here really. If they're going to do the squeeze, that's what they've got to do. They've got to absorb everything and send it. Semis back to these 50s again. Sorry, semis. Mag back to the 50s again. Semis breaking out. They want 140 right now, semiconductors. They ain't done with it. They're bidding 605s at the moment. And there's an imbalance 605 all the way down to 97s, and there's another one at 87s. We'll see if they come down and fill it before going higher. All right, semi starting to pull back a little bit. Mag finding the bid. No way. Rotation taking place. Never. VIX approaching higher day. Here come the puts flying in, right? VIX approaching high of day here. Still liquidity higher to fill. You can see all these offers. 25s, 30s, 35s, 45s, 60s, all on deck right now. Here they go. So shallow pullback, continuing higher and higher and higher. This is what I'm saying. They're just going to keep trying to squeeze this now. Check the daily here. Where are we at? We're at the 50-day here, and I'd say 660s. 660s is your big node to 680s. So we're at the 50-day here, up to 680s, and then through that, what's the top side of this? 30,000. We are just slicing through 3 months of volume like it doesn't exist right now, folks. That's what we're doing. Like it doesn't even exist. All right, here's the inverted head and shoulders on the mag. That's about to play out now as well. So we were talking about this. If we zoom this in into a 5 minute, hopefully it will show it. All right, this little pin here. And they're trying to do this like we mentioned. And that's the rotation. So if they pull this back and accelerate this out, we will keep moving higher and higher. They're just being very, very smart. with how they're moving this thing. It's a rotational, internal ETF rotation market, internal sector rotation market to allow this thing to keep squeezing higher without pulling back. It's very, very smart. Very smart. Yeah, VIX higher day because they're taking puts because this is a silly move. So they have to hedge against it. You're short semis. Well, good luck. What can I say? That thing's like on a big push here, and it's already got through that daily level of, what's that, 37s. If it holds above 37s, it's going to go for 40s, mate. So just be careful. If they hold 37s on the semis, it's going to go for 40s on the daily. More and more and more bid here. They just keep going and going and going and going and going. Non-stop bid. Flying in on a tape here. Bid, 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 bid. Just holding this thing up. There's been a lot of action in the last 5 minutes. Here we go. More and more and more and more and more. Like we said, they're just going to keep going and going and going and going. They ain't done with this thing. I think it wants up here at the moment. So I think there are short opportunities below 530. Why are we even why are we even talking about that right now? Why are we even talking about short opportunities by now? We're up here. Why are we even talking about this? We're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near it. Like, it's 100 points away. Okay, if we do that, maybe. But like, now we've built out structure, haven't we? So we'd expect them to hold it. It's very different to when we were here looking for a failure. Now they've broken out away from it. Structure's shifted. We have to play what's in front of us, folks. We have to. Why is VIX high and this keeps going up? Because it's a very unhealthy market where they're having to buy everything. Because this is grinding so aggressively over the last 3 days, they have to take a hedge. The hedge is in the VIX, isn't it? So that's why. More and more and more and more and more all the way up here. So I'm selling here into 45s. I still think this goes higher. For me, they want up here at the moment. It's an old H1 pin high here, but I still think it wants more. I don't see why it would stop here right now. Every big buyer just being rewarded. Insane. Just institutional lifts. Well, that's your 100 points off your initial balance. Those who are brave enough to take it. And this is still the target, right? That's where we're going. Here it goes, just straight up. Where's TP? I've said it about 1 million times. Sometimes I wonder, like, what you guys are, why you're even here. Like, I do wonder why some of you are here. Like, genuinely, I'm not being an asshole, but like, how many times have we talked about this today? Like, how many times have we done the measured move up to here today from the IB? Like, why are you here if you're not going to listen? I don't get it. I just don't understand. Shut up about asking about Lucid discounts, right? We're trading right now. Why would I know about upcoming Lucid discounts? The discounts are already available. You've now typed that 5 times. What is wrong with you guys today? Oh my God. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. What am I dealing with today? It's absolutely insane, guys. Do you know something about Lucid discount? Why would I fucking know more than you? What are you talking about? All right, still pushing, still getting extended. This is where it's trying to get to. Like we've said a billion times today, the expected move. I'm going to repeat it for you for the 100 millionth time today, based on the current move. All right, is now been moved up to 824. The binary move is 786. All right, they're going to keep moving this higher because we're grinding higher. I will not say it another time today. I'm going to promise myself that. I cannot keep... It makes me feel like I'm insane when I have to repeat myself over and over and over again. There's just nothing I can do. I've just got to sit still. That's all I can do right now, unfortunately. Any new GEX levels? They're not new. They haven't updated, but I would say 680 is pretty thick. If we go further out, fucking hell. We're above everything further out as well. What about week close? 720, 925. I mean, those will probably build up as we get through the week, but we're into them, and there ain't much more we can look at. Let's see if this will update. See if it puts the new ones on. It might not. There we go. There we go. 680s. That's probably it. If you were long IB, I would say you probably want to pay yourself a little bit here and then look for 700s. Hopefully it comes for you, but that's what I'd say. I would be cognizant of that. Here comes some selling at 660s now. I still think this can move high. I still think MAG wants to take out previous day highs. It's done the inverted head and shoulders that we talked about. All right, I said it'd probably shape up for this move. All right, it's done it. There's your move. I'm gonna have to start putting this on a different thing. All right, there we go. All right, 50s. Remember was the level. Here's your 50s in here. All right, over, under, held. Right, it's trying to take out this. This is previous day's high. That's what it's trying to get to. You're starting to get into a frothy kind of area here as we lift up towards that old POC. Pulling back off that. We'll see if they reload this or not. Through that now. I want this higher before I think about doing anything right now. See if we can lift a little bit higher. So I'd have said probably locked some of your long in and then wait to see if you can get to this 680, 700. What the fuck's going on here, Ninja? Oh my God. What are you doing? What are you doing? Unable to retrieve script. Unable to retrieve script. Oh God, is that the new indicator I'm trialing? Failed. Maybe. Where have you gone? This delta indicator's failed on me. That might be a look back issue, possibly. We'll see. Okay, I still think this is going to have one more shove up here, so we're just waiting to see what happens on the shove. Well, if it can shove. The mean reversion will be to 550s. I really don't want you to flush yet without getting up there. Still don't think we've finished. Still think there's more in this. I'm going to let it come up here. You're short here? Well, I mean, look, I wouldn't rule out like a scalp like you're talking about, but I think we would like to move higher first before we think about too much more. I think coming down to that move back to sort of 550, 560, this move back here, all right, I think it happens, but after we take this out, all right, if this is a squeeze up, all right, after we take this out, and then we can, you know, rebid out of that potentially now. We'll see. So there's bids here sat at 630 at the moment trying to protect. They're not even coming to the LVNs. They're not even coming into here. They're protecting. Mag pulling back. Semi's a little bit stuck. They might need to reset IB here. VIX new high day. We'll see here. Like, it feels very dangerous to put the short on here before we've taken out those highs. So if we do it, We have to be very, very careful. And I'm really unconvinced. There's an imbalance here down towards 28s. We can just swipe and hold that. Yeah, still absorbing everything possible at the moment. How long we got left? 30 minutes left. There's time. Well, that's the imbalance. Let's see if they swipe this. I'll see here if there's a way of entering. It's very dangerous here. We have not completed the move up, but MAG is starting to pull back here. And we'll see here if they fail to reclaim 35s. We'll see if we can get this swipe down and fill these imbalances into 07s down to 87s. Yeah, there's the first imbalance held. There's the first tap back into sell side at 35s. Little tap and rejection. And if they reclaim that, they're going to go for higher day. There's the reclaim. They're probably going to go for higher day. Like I said, they haven't come into this yet. This is the danger of looking short here. It feels a bit early to me, a little bit premature. Semi still look like they want more. They look like they want to break out for 140 here. They're starting to sell the mag so they can bid the semis at the moment. The rotation happening again. Right, sell the mag, bid the semis. There you go. Look at that. This is why this market's dangerous. You will not find alignment in this market right now. You will find it. Rotate, go sideways, and then lift. Rotate, go sideways, and then lift. Rotate, go sideways, and then lift. Mag back to 68.50s. They can refine a bid here if they want. Fix pulling back. Still nothing for me. I still think this wants that naked POC. This is quite something on the daily. It's not so much the move up on the daily. It's more what we're churning through, what we're able to slice through, which I find impressive. They ran out of petrol. I mean, it's the time. What are you talking about? It's the tiniest pullback. They can keep going. Look, they're holding every pullback. Look, have we ever broken the flow zones today? No. Like, just everything is upside. Just because they took a breather for 5 minutes, like, doesn't mean they can't keep doing this. They took a breather here for a while, right? They ran out of petrol. I quite like that. Can I hold for long positions or cancel? I don't know what you mean. I don't know if that means you're already in. I have no idea. All right, more news here by the looks of it. This looks like news, and this is going to get you this move that I talked about. Here it comes. This is definitely news. All right, so you're into Cool Wall, and then it's going to go naked POC, and if it gets through that, the next block. All right, and you just had tons of shorts get blown out there. That's why I'm saying it felt early. This is where it's trying to get to. You can see we're now into those targets. So I would say sell your longs here. You can hold a runner now just to see if they want to expand into this next block. But like, this is your high probability trade. There is nothing else to aim for. If you get a runner up here, congrats. But like, that long from here was beautiful. That worked really nice for you. It's well over 100 points. Okay. Lock most of it in here. If you get any more than that, great, but don't expect it, is what I'm trying to say. Let's see if they what they printed there. Iran ways allowing Europe to clear mines in Strait. That was it. So they've said, hey, Europe, you can come and clear the mines that we laid down. That's it. We're moving up off that. So that good news, is it? Hey, Europe, you can come in and clear the mines that we put down to blow up all the American ships. You can come and put your lives at risk. Great. I'm sure the UK and France and Italy are jumping at joy at the thought of doing that in something that they didn't even want to be involved in. America, you're not allowed to do it, but Europe, you are. You can come and put your lives at risk. And the lift continues. Now, I would say excess doesn't look too bad up there, but again, since that blowout, we had sellers now caught 65s and 51s. So the sellers are still caught in this. All the buyers are comfortable. Everything's a hold. Every shallow pullback continues to be bid up. The swings are just looking magnificent right now, which is great. Everything else, I'm a bit bored. I'm pretty bored here. When you're in a trade and news goes your way, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, this was the target, right? So they used the news to get there. It's any excuse then for the algos to get here. Look, there's your cool wall. There's your naked POC. All right. So this is your low hanging fruit tagged. You're done. So anyone who took longs from IB, I would have like 10% left, and that's it. All right. You're done. You've made your money. That's a beautiful trade. Well done, folks. Those who took it, congratulations. If you get a runner and they want to come up to sevens, great, but don't expect it. That's a huge move for them to get up there, right? It's a huge move. Okay, so Mag's doing the pit, going nowhere, so that semis can lift. Semis want 140. That's what they want. That's their call. This is an options-driven market now. We're just going to get up to 140 somehow, some way. So they're going to have to sell something to allow that to happen. The Mag's starting to pull back to that 68.50s again, and semis continue to lift and lift and lift. Here goes semis for higher daybreak. Like I said, they want 140s. Asia will sell off? You don't know that. It really depends what happens on earnings. Earnings tonight. Let's have a little look-see. After the bell. Right, you got AMD tonight, SpaceX tonight. Those are the ones I'd be watching. Wouldn't worry too much about anything else. And then before the open tomorrow, I'd watch Uber. And I'd watch Eli and Lilly for healthcare and pharma. Is another pump expected tomorrow? Mate, I don't know. We haven't closed today yet. Like, I'm really sorry, guys. I genuinely don't have a magic 8-ball or crystal ball. I can't tell you what we're going to do tomorrow. Once we close today and open tomorrow, we can give some structure of what might unveil. But we can't predict. Is another pump coming tomorrow? I don't fucking know. I'm not a market maker. I don't know where we're closing. How would I know? How does anyone know? It's like 50% chance yes, 50% chance no, right? Like, how would anyone know that? I would guess we'd need some mean reversion, but at the moment, this market doesn't want to do mean reversion. We're straight slingshot up. And I'd say, like, we are not that far away from coming up to that 30,000 level, which will be the top side of that daily range. And once we break that, we're very close to all-time highs at that point because all the shorts will be underwater. Now, I'm good with that for my swings. It would have liked some more size before we do that, but hey. And since the open, we quite literally have not pulled back. If you look at the hourly candles, there's nothing. Literally nothing since the open. It's a straight move higher. All right, coming into this naked POC. Yeah, volume's been petering out, but this candle here was a high volume one, right? So this is a high volume candle because we swiped everyone. Volume's petered out on this move higher, but until we take out this high volume candle, all right, which is full of sellers, then we can keep drifting higher on low volume. It can keep happening. All right, this, if you look at the volume on this, this is the big volume candle in the most recent area. Almost there at 700s. Mag held the 6850s again. Now they're pulling semis back a little bit while they bid the mag back up. They're going to continue to do it until they get their targets, pulling this back while they push this and this. And once this has finished the pullback, they'll then pull this back and bid this back out, and they're just going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. I don't know what their target is. I have no idea. It could be here at Naked POC. It could be 30,000 at this point. Yeah, long all day, just like yesterday. That's it. Just no pullback to get involved in, unfortunately. Not the only play, valid play, which lots of you took, was the IB hold, right? The break and hold of initial balance. There you go. That's beautiful. That's got you your money. I'd say in here, very hard after that strength move. Very, very hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5-minute opening range break. That was it. So you had a 5-minute orb or you had an IB. I don't think really I would call any of these valid. So I'd say that was a play. That was a play. Nothing else I would say was a good pullback. I was waiting for something down here. Never came. So just sat waiting. That's just how it is. That's trading sometimes. You took the 5-minute orb. I mean, if you took it, you're up massive. I mean, I doubt you've held all the way up here, but good if you have. Post it in your X if you actually have done that. I would love to see it. It's a hell of a trade. All right, naked POC here. Now tagged. Look at that first reaction off it. It's not to say we can't move higher. We can absolutely move higher here. They've got a 700 and they can keep shifting. What was the IB? What did we say? Was it 760 for the expansion? $750s. It's possible. Possible. Your runners might get 750s here if you're lucky. Very lucky. Have they bought the dip on Amazon? Let me have a look here. It's still down. No. I'll watch that tomorrow. It can come down to 70, 270 on Amazon. I might add some more size. Depends on how this market reacts. Unfortunately, probably need a pullback in the market, and then Amazon will probably get punished when that pullback happens. Still the bids coming in here. Yeah, how are we doing on the likes? Can we do giveaways today? Probably not. Let's have a look. Almost there. 1,200 likes. Just smash that thumbs up button. We'll do some giveaways at the end of stream. It's been a boring stream for me. It is what it is. All right. Up here's on deck. I keep having to like move my ES chart. It just won't stop. I would say 750 ES. Fucking hell. What a move. Where did we open up the day on ES? Looking at a 100-point move on ES. Don't remember the last time I saw that. All right, VIX breaking out higher day as well. Hedge continuing. Equal weighted. All right, semiconductors are up 6.30% now. Software's up 4%. Mag's up 0.34%. So you can see where the lift's coming from. It's all coming from semiconductor lift. Market's on Viagra. Oh, it is. Certainly is. What we now have to watch long term is if we get to the mid of this range, if pullbacks now hold 350s, all right, if we come back down here over the next few days, if this holds, right, that is a buy now. That is a long-term buy. So I will be watching that with price alerts, just based on the daily. All right, if you think about what we're doing on the daily here. All right. Here's the range. This is where we got thick, right? This is where we broke down from, back tested, failed. This is a first retest. We've gone straight through with no reaction. It's a very strong sign. This is the midpoint of that range. If they pull back and they hold the top of this range, that is uber bullish for a move to all-time highs. Hopefully we get that. Hopefully we don't get this move, because that's going to make life very hard. But hopefully we pull back to here at some point for a new swing long position. I can add some size in there. 700s, and then 735 now has just turned up on the tape above. Today's pullback's probable. Not right now, it's not. I mean, they're not letting go of anything. This is just a huge trend day. There's nothing. There ain't nothing here pulling back right now. I wouldn't be betting on a pullback right now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe end of week, maybe next week. We'll just have to see. I mean, we've gone far further than the market was ready for this week to the upside. The response has been massive. The buying's been massive. This isn't good for Michael Burry. Michael Burry, what's his position? I thought he closed all his shorts. I don't think he's holding anything right now. I thought he announced that he closed. What's he in at the moment? I might be wrong. I just didn't think he was in anything right now. I thought he announced he'd closed it all. Okay, so failing POC here. First hint of a pullback into some of these LVNs. We've hit the naked point of control. VIX is really motoring here to the upside, by the way, folks. New high day. Semis are still holding 68.50s, but can't get through previous day high yet. Doesn't mean it doesn't come. Sorry, the MAG. And semis are not that far away from the 140. They've printed a high of 139, right? So they're 1 point away from 140. That's their call wall that I think they're aiming for today. He only closed partially. Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. I thought he was out. My bad. Never seen us walk outside the second view up deviation band. Yeah, this is not a normal move today. This is a very, very strong move. All right, are we there on the likes yet, folks? Almost. We need a couple hundred more likes. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Smash that thumbs up button, please. I'm just going to use the bathroom while you do that, and then hopefully when we're back, we can do some giveaways. That would be good. All right, I'll be right back. All right, they're starting to build out liquidity here. A few minutes to lunch. Well, I've got a second viewing of my house today. Fingers crossed this person puts an offer in. You put a decent offer in out there, mate, I'll let you buy it. Would like to be done with London. How are we doing? Are we there yet? Almost there, folks. Please smash that thumbs up button underneath the screen. There's at least 850 of you who have not hit the like button. Just hit the thumbs up button on the stream, and we will give away some Apex accounts here. Where's the naked week point of control from? It's from 2 weeks ago. It's from the week opening Monday the 13th. Yeah. Once we traded away from that and we closed, we never came back to it the last 2 weeks. So it's 3 weeks ago, actually. 1, 2, 3. It's 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Yeah, this market needs a reset. Needs a reset. Well, it doesn't need to. It would be nice if it would reset. Why 3 weeks back? Well, because we didn't touch it. It's I don't know. It's naked from 3 weeks back because we haven't touched that level from 3 weeks back. So it's still a notable level, right? They're naked until they get touched. So I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, because the market didn't want to move up there for 3 weeks. I literally don't know what you want me to say about that. If the market touched it last week, we would have cleared it last week. If it touched it the first week, it would never be naked and wouldn't be on our chart. But we didn't. Why is it naked, Murph? Because it's untouched. You hear them called naked or virgin when you have a point of control which has not been retested, because we like to retest areas. If they've not been retested, they're naked or untouched, or some people would call them fresh. All right, so it's a fresh level. So this is the first time we've been up here since leaving it that week. So that week closed on what was the Friday close there? So since Friday the 17th. So the best part of a month, we've not been up here. This is the first time we're testing this point of control. All right. And shallow pullback into the EMAs and a rebid. Two-leg pullback and a rebid. It's non-stop bid, folks. It is non-stop bid here. We don't want to fight this. Was that the lunch move as well? All right. Are we there on likes? Almost there. Almost there, folks. Let's get these likes up, please. I'm only here until we do that. There's nothing I can do with this market at the moment. And those who've emailed, I will get back to you as soon as we're done with the stream. I promise. I promise. My only regret right now is not buying enough size in the swings. I'm hoping they come back. Hoping they come back down so I can reload a little bit. right, are we there yet? Almost there. Come on, folks. Smash that like button for me. We can do the giveaways. It ain't that hard. Those of you who've bought Spectre, I promise I'll get back to you. I can see you now. I'm just highlighting your emails. I'll get back to you straight after this. All right, new high day coming here on semis. They're trying to push up to high day, as are the mag. They're trying to get up to previous day high again. All right, there we go. Well done, team. We got there. We made it. All right, Notebot. Let's get you ready. All right. Let's give away another Apex account here. Code FZT in stream. So all you got to do, please just type it once. You don't need to type it many times. If you type it many times, it just pulls you out. All right, just type it once. That's all you need to do. If you're still holding runners, you're looking for this, by the way, this next red block. That's it. That's all you got left. I don't think there's anything else to aim for. I mean, they keep lifting it up. 720s. 720s is the last big cool ball. And after that, there ain't much. I'm going to go further out. $720s. After that, really, we're looking at 925 for end of week. And I would imagine the volume at 30,135 is going to start building as well. So 720s is probably the move here. The last your last TP is what I'm trying to say for your runners. And congrats to those that took the IB long. That was the one. That was the one. It was probably the best trade today. After the morning shove up, really, unless you got the 5-minute break. I think that was it. That was probably your best trade. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Melanie Retenteria. Sorry. Melanie Retenteria. Renteria. Melanie Renteria. 2936. Hey. Thank you, Melanie. All right, new Apex account on its way to you. You can use any type of account you want. Just send me an email, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube. That's all you've got to do. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. All right, I'll get you set up for this afternoon. What I'd look at this afternoon. There ain't a lot. There ain't a lot. All right. If they give back the squeeze, if you hit 720s and fail, if you're a brave man, all right, you can think about this move down to here. I would expect the bids to try and hold this. All right, there's LVN in between this anyway, but I would expect if we come down here, some form of bid to try and shape up. If for some reason they lose this, all right, then you're watching each LVN as the target down below. Now, I'm going to set a price alert. I'm willing to be a buyer here today, and I'm willing to be a buyer here today. So I'm just going to have to set a price alert. The chances of this coming in, I think, are 0. That ain't going to happen. Maybe later in the week that comes in, and that would be a great opportunity for us. But if we think about, like, we are so extended here, it's insane. Where's my New York view up? Where's my cash? Session view up, New York view up. Solid dashed. Where's the cash then? Where's the other one? Why can't I see it? Where have you gone? Oh, you're in here. I can't see you. That's weird. That is weird. I'm going to have to grab it off one of the other ones. Hang on. Sorry, team. There it is. All right, so we might need a reset. It would be nice if they would offer the reset into here, and we can think about buying that, because that's going to be point of control, high volume level, New York VWAP. If we lose New York VWAP, we can trade lower. I don't know where 24-hour VWAP is. It seems to have disappeared off this screen right now. 24's down here, so I can only get one and not the other. What is going on? Oh! Well, that update doesn't work then. That's what that is. Sorry, team. Can't afford to not have these. So I'm going to have to go back to the traditional way. We get VWAP on, 24-hour on. There you go. Need both of these. And get this one on. There we go. All right, so I'll be looking. I wouldn't necessarily advise being short on this, but like if you're adamant on the short, I'd be looking for this trade down towards here. And I'd look for a bid to form here. If they lose this shelf, they come down to this. I doubt this happens. This is where I'm going to be looking for a bid later in the week. I would love the market to come down here and offer me a bid later in the week. That would be great. But for today, if we can mean revert back to here, maybe we can bid out from that for a retest of the highs. But you've hit your low-hanging fruit for upside. So you're either holding runners or you're out now. And you're either looking for a short back down to that area or you're just going to let it come in. There ain't nothing else we can really consider at the moment. And I would say the sellers, well, they got blown out here. 150. Yeah, 150. Until you move under 150, you're not going to get the move. And then it's the fill of this 600 level, which is down into here. All right, so if we lose 150s, they can backfill 600 into this. That's where I think a bid will form, somewhere in there. So I'll be setting price alerts. That's what I'll be looking for the market to backfill into that. Where would I consider the short? If it wasn't lunch now, you could start considering it. If it starts to fail here, right, you could look for that mean reversion. But like I will tell you now, the hardest thing about this short is that you're going to have to respect every single LVN on the way down, because on the way up, it's bid everything out. And really, you're not going to really take control sell side, even for mean reversion, until you start getting underneath 50s, 650s, right? So they can still hold 650 and move this higher, hold 650 and move it higher. All right. Blown away the bullish highs for the newsletter already. Yeah, it has. It has. Well, like I said, even the options market, if I take you up here, we've got nothing in. Like there's nothing left into week close, which is August 7th. We're through the weekly expected move, guys. Like we're through everything. So I'd say through 720s, you're looking at 29,925. Then you're looking at 30,000 whole number. And the top of that balance is basically 30,080s. If it breaks that, fucking hell, like we're on like Donkey Kong for a massive squeeze up. Like, I don't think it's possible, but that's what I'll be looking at. We'll have to see what they put in tonight and where we close, right? But we're through all the levels in, you know, it's not by lunch on Tuesday we've ripped through everything. And SPY's way over all of its expected moves as well. So it's price discovery time. You know, it's price discovery time. How high? Let's have a look on SPY. Let's do a little build out of this and think about swing high to swing low, where they can potentially go here on SPY. Not necessarily this week, but I'll be targeting 783s. 782s to 783s. And before that, I would be targeting 777s. So 777s to 782s is the measured move for SPY based on that 3-month consolidation breakout. So that's where it can potentially go. Again, news tonight on earnings. We'll have to see how that rattles the market or not, whether they can continue to bid this up or has this been putting it in before the news. I don't know. We're just going to have to see what the reaction is. Pretty boring day here, unfortunately. It is what it is. We can't do much with it. All right. See you tomorrow morning. Again, look out for these levels down here. I'd be watching this and this. Set price alerts for the market to come into these areas here. And if it does and it traps sellers, then we can try and bid back up again. All right. Hopefully there's some form of mean reversion here, more than a 20-point pullback. Fingers crossed, and we can get something this afternoon. All right. Peace and love, everyone. See you tomorrow. Use hard stops, all that stuff. Remember, still headline circulating. All right. So be careful. You're going to need hard stops. Peace out.